Good afternoon and welcome to the BBC News at 1. A police officer who falsely claimed to have witnessed the so-called Plebgate row, which led to the resignation of the then Chief Whip, Andrew Mitchell, has pleaded guilty to misconduct in public office. PC Keith Wallace said he'd seen the argument in Downing Street between Mr Mitchell and another officer who accused the Conservative MP of using the word pleb. Mr Mitchell said he was pleased that justice had been done. Our Home Affairs correspondent Tom Simons is outside the Old Bailey. Tom.
Yes, it may have been a brief and angry encounter, but it's led to massive repercussions and a police investigation that saw more than 1,000 statements taken and laptops and mobile phones seized. But that has all resulted in just one criminal charge and today, one plea of guilty. The murky images of the now infamous incident in Downing Street in September 2012. The investigators studied these pictures and other CCTV footage and concluded there was insufficient evidence to suggest the officer who spoke to Mr Mitchell lied. But another officer, it now turns out, did. PC Keith Wallace, who serves with the Diplomatic Protection Group, wasn't on duty that night and didn't see what happened. But he emailed his MP saying he did, and that's why he was prosecuted. His email backed up the police log of the event, which had already been leaked and which accused Andrew Mitchell of swearing and calling officers plebs. It helped pile the pressure on the Chief Whip and he later resigned. But this morning, Keith Wallace has admitted he was lying. The case has been adjourned before sentencing. In a statement, the Metropolitan Police Commissioner Bernard Hogan-Howe said, "To lie about witnessing something and provide a false account falls way below the standards that I and PC Wallace's colleagues expect of police officers. His actions have also negatively impacted upon public trust and confidence in the integrity of police officers."
Good morning. Good morning.
He also apologised to Andrew Mitchell this morning at his constituency office in Sutton Coldfield, who responded in his statement, "It is very sad and worrying for all of us that a serving police officer should have behaved in this way. There remain many questions unanswered, in particular why PC Wallace wrote this email and who else was involved in this process." PC Wallace is facing a possible jail sentence and a police misconduct hearing, but the conduct of 4 other Metropolitan Police officers is also being considered as part of disciplinary procedures. Now, PC Toby Rowlands, the police officer that spoke to Andrew Mitchell that night, is not facing any disciplinary hearings, but he is suing Andrew Mitchell, accusing him of lying. And Andrew Mitchell is suing The Sun, which covered the initial story about the Plebgate affair. So none of this really resolves the who said what to who question. And though we may be out of the criminal courts, we're likely to be in the civil courts in due course. Back to you.
Tom, thank you very much, Tom Simons. Well, let's speak now to our political correspondent, Alex Forsyth, who's in Westminster. There are those who feel that this vindicates Andrew Mitchell. So does this create the possibility of a comeback?
Well, it's certainly a step in that direction. You'll remember, of course, that Andrew Mitchell resigned voluntarily, saying the clamour of this case became so much he could no longer concentrate on doing his job. But he's always maintained he was the victim of a police conspiracy, and that was something that he wanted to prove. Now, he might say today's result, an officer admitting that he's lied, helps his case. But what it doesn't prove is whether or not he used that crucial word pleb. Now, as you've heard, that will be the subject of libel cases which are still to go through the courts. And politically speaking, it's vital that Mr Mitchell exonerates himself from the use of that word if he wants to return to high office. Now, he's always enjoyed much cross-party support, and he still does. Friends of his saying today that if you look at the line in his statement saying he wants to support the Conservatives at the next election, that's a clear indication of his determination to return to the political fold. Today might help him do that, but I guess there are still further twists in this fairly convoluted tale before we see a full career revival.
Thank you very much. It's feared that parts of England